This past weekend we went on a short weekend trip to the Salzkammergut region in Austria, where we visited Hallstatt and also the Dachstein Krippenstein mountain range. Salzkammergut is an Austrian region of lakes and mountains, and Hallstatt is one of the most famous towns in this region, but it has also many other interesting parts. For example, previously I've been to Wolfgangsee, which is another lake nearby. There are also small towns and villages which are worth visiting, and it's both a winter and summer touristic region. We actually stayed in Obertraun, not in Hallstatt. Hallstatt is quite a small place and it's very difficult to travel by car because there are not so many streets actually that could be used by car, so it's better to stay somewhere outside and take a bus or take the ferry to Hallstatt itself for a day trip. Actually, it's also quite expensive there, the parking as well as accommodation and also the restaurants, so it's better to stay somewhere else. So we stayed in Obertraun in a small apartment house, which is managed by a British couple. They were very sweet. The accommodation also had breakfast included. They only have 4 rooms available, so there were not so many guests outside of us, and they had a very sweet, cute breakfast area where we could enjoy not only our morning coffee, but also in the evenings we could sit there and play games and have fun. I will link the accommodation in the description below because I do recommend it for you guys. On the first morning, on Saturday morning, we took a boat from this side of the lake to Hallstatt itself. What's interesting to know is that the Hallstatt train station is actually on this side, so if you are traveling by train to Hallstatt, you're gonna end up here and you would have to take the boat anyway to Hallstatt to the other side, and it costs €3.50 for one way trip with the boat. Hallstatt lies on the shore of Lake Hallstatt. It has 16th century alpine houses, and on the alleyways you can find cute cafes and shops. There is also a funicular going up to a salt mine that you can visit. We actually took a hiking trail up there, which all over said it's dangerous and threat of death, but we survived, so I do recommend taking the hike rather than the funicular, for which you would have to pay. We visited both churches and the graveyard and took a walk in the city center, following which we went up to the viewpoint, to the skywalk, which was around an hour hike going up, and I do recommend to go up on foot if you are able to manage that.
Roller coaster. Don't ask me about my freedom.
top of Hallstatt, if you walk up or hike up or take the gondola, you can find the Hallstatt Skywalk. There is also a restaurant up there. There are some nice photo viewpoints, and there is also the salt mine that you can visit a little bit further up. We didn't visit the salt mine because, well, I don't know exactly how much it cost, but we figured it's probably a bit too expensive, and it's not worth it for us. So after having lunch and taking photos, we actually just walked back down to the town. In town, we found the most interesting vending machine you have ever seen, where you can buy, well, t-shirts and buy the original air from Hallstatt for 10 euros to go. We spent the evenings in our apartment where we were playing different games like Jenga and poker and some other card and dice games. On Sunday, we went up to the Dachstein Krippenstein by gondola, and we wanted to do some snowshoe hiking. When I was purchasing the ticket, I understood that the snowshoes are for rent on the top of the hill. However, we went up and there was no place where you can rent snowshoes up there. So if you ever go there, please make sure that you rent your snowshoes at the Talstation in the valley next to where you enter the gondola, because that's where you get it. So we had to convince them to let us in to the gondola one more time to go down and back up in order to pick up our snowshoes. But at the end it was all good. We just wasted maybe 1.5 hours with this extra up and down, but we managed to do some snowshoeing and it was amazing. We have hiked up to the Five Fingers, which is a viewing platform with a 400-meter drop below it, and it has 5 different styles of platform. One is completely glass, and then there are some other ones where you can take different kinds of photos from. So this is why it's called Five Fingers, because there are 5 platforms and it's apparently very unique in this region. But I'm pretty sure that these kind of viewing platforms exist all around the Alpine region, also in Switzerland as well. But I have never been to any, so this was my first and I wasn't disappointed. It's not recommended for those who are afraid of height though. After going to the Five Fingers, we went back up to near the Bergstation of the gondola, where they have some restaurants. So we went to the restaurant called The Lodge, which is also kind of a hostel kind of situation where you can stay overnight. So that would be an interesting one to consider, because they have the most amazing view to the mountain from their rooms. Following lunch, we continued our snowshoe hike, and this time we were hiking down to the Dachstein shark. This shark represents that this area was itself covered by seawater millions of years ago, and there was at that time they even had these prehistoric sharks. They call them ice shark, and they have all kinds of fossils and fossilized deposits in the rocks still from this primordial ocean time in this area, which you can probably see more when it's not covered with snow, right, like now. But you can also hike up here in the summer, of course. And the shark itself, you can climb up inside it and have a view from up the mouth of the shark. following this, we went back up to the gondola, went down with the gondola and drove back home to Vienna. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'm hoping to see you at my next video. Leave a comment, like and subscribe if you like this video, and I see you next time. Bye bye!